Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be disassembling the Sony Vaio VPCEB32FM. That was a laptop I showcased a few months ago, and now we're finally going to do a proper disassembly to be able to, so I can show you how I got those upgrades on my unit. Okay, so the things that you'll need are a screwdriver. Specifically, you'll need a Phillips 00 screwdriver, and you're gonna need, well, depending on if you are gonna clean the inside with your disassembly, I recommend getting some compressed air. And also have a bin like this. I got it in Walmart to store and categorize your screws. But in this disassembly, it's not that bad, really. The screw sizes are pretty similar to each other. There's only a couple that are actually different, and they're physically and visually different. You can be able to tell them apart. And one more thing, over here, I am missing a screw in my hard drive tray. It's not horribly bad, but just to let you all know, there's a screw in here. And oh, I forgot one more thing. You're gonna need something like a microfiber cloth, or even coffee filters, and some Arctic-Clean or 90% or at least 70% isopropyl alcohol if you're gonna take out the stock CPU paste. As you probably know, the CPU paste would eventually dry up. And so I'm going to use Arctic MX4. Arctic MX4, my favorite thermal compound. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this disassembly. So when you get the laptop on its back, after you shut it down, we'll need to take out the battery. Take out the release levers, and take it out, put it aside. And now let's go after the memory. So unscrew this door over here for the memory. I kind of stripped a little bit of the screw, so I'm going to need to be a little slow. And this screw in the memory door is recessed, by the way, so you can just take it out with ease. See? And here's the memory. I upgraded it to 8 gigs. And I'll just take that out, actually. So you just pull these two levers and take out the DIMMs. Okay. Next thing we should do is take out the hard drive or solid state drive. There, as I said earlier, there's going to be 2 screws here. I only have 1. So there's snaps over here in the front, so you can just pull up on. Oh, there's a screw that went loose in here. Never knew that. Okay, I meant over here. The other screw got loose. I don't know why. At least it didn't affect performance or anything, it looks like. Interesting, my magnet's a little weak today. So, to take out the hard drive, there's a little pull tab over here. You just pull it back. See? And now we can take out the optical drive over here. Oops. Yeah, over here. There's these 2 screws. Sony clearly labeled all the different type where things go. So just unscrew these. You'll be able to get the optical drive out. And now here's where the different size screws come to play. So up here, these two screws are different sizes from everything else. Well, actually there's a couple more different sizes. I believe these two are the ones that are longer than the rest of these. So make sure you categorize them accordingly. And all the rest of these screws are in fact the same size. So let's take them out. I should have taken out the dongle in here a long time ago. Whoops. Anyway, now here's the fun part. So the rear chassis, the bottom chassis I mean, is secured by a bunch of snaps along the perimeter of the unit, and I usually like to go from this side. I usually use where the optical drive would be to like get my first unsnap in. So you gotta be slow, and it's gonna be stiffer the first time you do it, but you'll get the hang of it. See, you have to be slow and gentle. And there's a snap over here. I usually like to go in the back instead of the front, actually. So here we go. It's not too dusty for my unit because I already cleaned it a while ago, but I'll just spray some compressed air there anyway. Okay, so let's take a tour of the inside. Here you'll have your Wi-Fi chip. Here's your CPU. Memory DIMMs, of course. Fan. Can't tell if this is a North Bridge or not. I'm not entirely sure. Here's the express card and the two SATA ports. So if you want to remove the actual Wi-Fi card, you'll just take out this screw right here and remove the antennas, and then replace it with your new and improved mini PCIe card. And for the CPU, here's how you do it. I need to get some space actually. So we have these. So there's this tape over here. Let's take that out first. Just leave it in place actually. And next you don't want to touch these. Actually, well, first of all, you're going to need to take this screw out first, and this one right in the back. And now you can take out the fan connector. It's a little tiny to get your fingernails in, but you'll be able to get your fingernails in. Yeah, you can leave this fan. You can leave these 4 screws over here. And for the CPU itself, you'll need to take out these screws. Normally these would be really crusty underneath, but mine's gonna be liquidy because I already took out the CPU cooler already. There's gonna be a connector. There's gonna be a wire over here, so you're only gonna need to like loop it like this to release it. Okay, so once you're in this stage, you need to take a microfiber cloth or a coffee filter and your isopropyl alcohol or Arcticlean. I'm going to use Arcticlean for this tutorial. I'm going to start with the thermal material remover, number 1. So I'm just going to put it on my little coffee filter and then wipe it out. Looks like I put too little last time I was here. The reason why you're going to want to use some coffee filter or microfiber cloth is because you're going to leave particles behind if you use it like a towel. This is okay. Some more. You want it to be pretty squeaky, shiny clean when you're done doing this. I might just left a couple of tidbits in there. It's almost clean. Now I'm ready for it. And the bottom 2. Okay, once you're done with the CPU, now you can attack the heatsink with your alcohol or Arcticlean. Try to help you guys. Stuff always gets a little messy. If you're using Arcticlean, you better use the bottle number 2. I think I forgot the CPU actually, so we'll do that. Let it sit for a little while, and there we go. Alright, very clean. We'll put that aside. Now for the CPU, we'll deal with the Arcticlean. I don't want to put it on straight onto the CPU because of how small the cores are. Put a little too much. Okay, I'll wait a second for this stuff to evaporate. Okay, it looks like the Arcticlean has evaporated. Now we'll need to use our thermal compound. I'm going to use so for the thermal compound, you're going to require a very small amount of this onto the. It's kind of hard for the camera, but you're going to need to put in a pea-size amount, or even smaller. Like so. Maybe a little more. Right on there. It's really stringy. And then for the other core, you're going to need a little smaller than that. You're going to need a little smaller than that for the other core, I mean. Okay. Now for the heatsink installation, you're going to need, there's a hook on here. Right here. You're going to need to like get this cable. Make sure you put the hook 1 underneath and then place it back in. And make sure that the CPU holes are aligned It's usually best to align the screw. It's usually best to align the screws right here and make sure they're aligned before you put the heatsink onto the CPU again, like so. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen right here, and then there's gonna be a triangle. Now you're gonna need to take a picture if you're upgrading the CPU, and make notes of in relation to the socket where that triangle is, so that because on this particular unit there's no triangles to align it, unlike in a normal desktop. So let's reassemble this. We'll take the screw and put it back here to make sure the heatsink is aligned. Whoops, I'm kinda overdoing it. And put the other screw over here. Whoopsie. And now we go back to the CPU. Of course, you're going to need to do a star pattern with a couple turns on each diagonal. So, like so. 1, 2, and to ensure even coating on the cores. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And the rest. Oops, this one's tight. Okay, this one's tightened, this one's tightened, and this one just got tightened. Okay. Make sure you don't forget to put the fan connector back in. Let's just push it in like so. Probably with your fingernails. And this tape right here. Let's put it back in place. And one more thing, forgot again. For the socket itself, there's two positions. It's currently the locked position. If you turn it 90 degrees, or no, not 90, 180, there's an unlock position over here that allows you to remove this processor and put it back. Okay, so let's get the rear of the chassis. And I like to do it this way. Just get the front of it aligned with the snaps. So let's get these snapped in. And these kind of curl in the back to get the snaps in. You kind of like bend the plastic a little to get it in there. It's best if you angle it and then you can see where the snap is. But make sure you double check. Looks like we're good. I like to start off with the big screws and put these back into their positions. Next, the small screws that are in the battery compartment. Oops, it's kind of becoming a habit to I really better not strip these screws. And now we get to the whole mess of these screws over here. I'm missing screws, so I'm going to do it that center. I'm going to double check each of these screws real quick. Make sure they're as tight as they can be. Right. Now let's get the hard drive, solid state drive installed. You just plop it in this side first, and you use this tab to pull it in. Let's screw them into place. So you do these two back screws. You screw them into screw the back in. Hopefully this doesn't get loosened while in service. Okay. And time for the cover. And final screw, or final two screws actually. I'm missing one of them. I'll put it in this side because it looks like it needs more support. And the optical drive over here, you just slot it in with the bezel side, and there we go. We'll just take the screws into this hole right here. And into this other hole right over here. And finally, or second to final, and we'll take the RAM. We'll do the bottom slot first. You just take the RAM, put it in, angled, with the right notch, push it into place, and it clicks. Next one, aligned, slot it in. Now the memory door. And I'll just put my USB dongle in here right now. And finally, the battery. Make sure you lock it. Alright. And just to make sure this thing's working, let's boot it up. I'm going to try to scoot it up there and angle the screen. And I think I missed a snap. You can probably get the snap right here. Alright, we got a boot. Well, thank you for watching my video. I hope it helped you out. And thank you for watching.